What's up, everyone? I am back with another video. If this is your first time hearing my voice or seeing my face, please go check out the other things on my channel. It's really fun over there, so please go check it out. Hit that notification down below because it will really help me out with the algorithm. Pop that bubble and subscribe, and also like, share, comment. So today we're going to continue on with talking about the very irritating game of Smite. Again, Smite is kind of a Royal Rumble, and you select different gods from different pantheons to fight within an arena type situation. And today we're going to be talking about old characters, new characters, and the very frustrating thing that we have to deal with as players compared to that of the SPL players, which are the professional players that are giving like sponsor deals and stuff like that. So with that said, let's just hop into it. The first issues I really have with the characters, especially the new ones, is that the new characters have a lot of abilities that are just all around really great, and it renders the old characters fairly useless. It's not to say that the old characters don't have shine or they don't have skills necessary to fight in battles or team fights, but it is to say that they are at a disadvantage when it comes to the newer characters. Someone like Ishtar, right? Ishtar is a new character that has a kickflip that is able to root you necessarily, sort of kind of like that. And also she has long range, and she's able to throw an ult out that if it passes through an enemy and she snatches it back, it can stun them. And with that said, there's a character named Neith, and Neith is an Egyptian god. Ishtar is a Babylonian god. And the issue that I have with those two characters is that Ishtar is just a better version of Neith, and I feel like the creators of Hi-Rez were on a good flow. Like, they were on a good like high rise with these ideas, because I think that the ideas that they have for new characters are really innovative, but again, it renders the old characters useless. And if Ishtar is a better Neith, then what is the point of picking Neith when you can just have another god that's in the game be able to long range and kill people? You see what I mean? And another issue is with Guardians. Guardians are the most frustrating thing about Smite currently right now, because it renders every other class pretty much useless. And let me explain why. Guardians, in my idea of what a Guardian is supposed to be, is someone that is there for utility and to get people off of you as far as enemies, and to also protect you. That is the idea I have with Guardians. How it plays out in the game is that Guardians are doing massive amounts of damage, like almost a mage, with the tankiness to add on. And so fighting Guardians, you're almost fighting tankier mages, which is very frustrating. And obviously there's gods in the game that do this type of build better than others. Cerberus, Terra, Artio are just prime examples of Guardians that do way too much damage when they're supposed to be supports. Right? They're supposed to be supports. And yet we're still dealing with people in game, especially if it's a 3-on-3, choosing 2 Guardians or 2 Warriors, and then X whatever class, whether that's an assassin, whether that's a hunter, whether that's a mage, it doesn't matter. As long as you have 2 tanks, you are pretty much going to be in a higher range of winning, which just changes the dynamic of what Smite was originally about, and also the things that you enjoyed about it as well. And I have, like I said before, and like I'll reiterate again, I have fallen out of love with Smite, and I wish it would just go back to the way it was. I'm not saying that the game can't make changes. I'm not saying that the characters that they make are bad. I'm not saying that adding new things to the game is impossible. But there is a way to do it where it doesn't change the game in its complete entirety. And I'm very frustrated with it. So let me know down in the comments what you think about any of this stuff, because I definitely want your opinions about it if you play the game Smite. So continuing on with just particular characters, we have to talk about power scaling. And power scaling when it comes to particular characters, it's very frustrating as well because certain characters are able to build a specific way that really catapults them in the game. So let's say Loki or Serket. You know what? Serket might be a better deal to talk about. So the thing about Serket is that she does true damage. True damage is basically exactly how it sounds. It has a base damage of 10. So let's say somebody has 10 protections, whatever, and it protects them from physical damage. That's not going to matter because it is true damage. So it immediately just goes past whatever you're being damaged by. Or it immediately goes past your protections to damage you. And so with Serket's builds and just her character in general, it's based off of power scaling. So she has base damage on top of her true damage. And so she's basically able to build any type of way, whether that's tank, whether that's not tank. They try to rectify this by changing her base level damage and saying that the ability, she needs to get ability based or power based items in order for her to properly work, because people in SPL were basically abusing her to a large degree. But all of a sudden, she essentially got changed back to a certain degree because they were like, okay, well, nobody's picking Serket and everyone just wants her to be back to her original self. So they decided to try to make some sort of balance, and they said that they were going to be doing this with multiple assassins in the game. Has that happened yet? No, 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 no. It has not happened, and it needs to. And that's why today we're talking about characters and how they're functioning in the game, old or new. The reason why Bastet and Loki got changed is because people were fucking complaining. But I don't really understand Bastet's scaling and the damage that she was doing, including with her ult. It just didn't make any sense to give her a new power kit, ability kit. There are plenty of gods, older gods in the game that need reworks, ability reworks, and they choose not to do it. Freya had a rework done to her and then they reverted her back. Terra had a rework done to her and then they reverted her back. Red Tasker had a rework and then they reverted him back to his original form, which with some additions added on. And I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just not really on board with the weird picks that they do. And after talking to somebody from High Res, I was very frustrated by their answer, not because they gave me a bad answer, but because it's really about money. Whoever's being played a lot, that's who's going to be getting these buffs, that's who's going to be getting these reworks, etc., 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 on top of skins that are added to the game. And I mean, I don't know. So like I said, let me know your thoughts about the game itself and some frustrations you may have also. But yeah, that's all I have for today. So please go like, share, comment, pop that bubble, and subscribe. And I will check all of you lovely people later. Deuces.